Let's take a deep dive into the world of indie gaming, and more specifically, its gamers. But be warned, this is not for the faint of heart or weak of stomach. The Thrill Seeker, we all know them. No car too fast, no jump scare too scary, and no firefight too dangerous. In video games, of course. This type of gamer is always looking for its next big adrenaline hit, and Sulaco provides the ultimate sugar high. Imagine the Duke's 1996 brutal alien ass-kicking action with a hot protagonist and 2024 retro graphics, and you have a bit of an idea what you're in for. Add to this the non-stop high-octane action and a surprisingly good story, and it's something no thrill seeker will want to miss. While shooters are at the top of the genre list for the thrill seeker, there are many other types of games that will please this gamer. One game I'm certain will satisfy their constant need for tension and adrenaline comes from a completely different angle, and will come to many as a surprise. It certainly was to me. The concept is crazy. There's a horror game where you, the protagonist, need to escape from a world inhabited by monsters. And to do this, you have to learn their language. Now, to the thrill seeker, learning a made-up language might not sound very thrilling, but Homicipher is a visual novel type game, another word the thrill seeker is allergic to, that knows how to keep constant tension. There's jump scares aplenty and many interesting ways to end up unalive. Plus, I haven't even mentioned the craziest aspect of this game. It's secretly a romance game. But let's explore a different avenue the thrill seeker might be interested in. The older thrill seeker will most certainly remember his first interactions with the classic Resident Evils. For me, I knew I loved Resident Evil the moment that Dawn Dog jumped through the window and almost sent me on a one-way trip to the hospital. Where Homicipher might not have hit that sweet spot, Crow Country most certainly will. Everything about this game screams Resident Evil. From the delicious, gross and creepy monsters, the campy puzzles, safe rooms and the amazing location, the Crow Country theme park. And the best part? All of this in 90s PSX aesthetic. Yes, something like Crow Country is right up the thrill seeker's alley. But let it be known that the thrill seeker is not shallow and can find thrills in genres unlike horror or shooters. Exploration and discovery, for example, are a worthy substitute for jump scares. Plus, any game where you can upgrade and pimp a station wagon, which calls itself a first-person driving survival game, is alright in the thrill seeker's book. And that's how we arrive at Pacific Drive. This is Ghostbusters, but instead of ghosts, there are unexplained phenomena and creepy events. And all that stands in between you and sudden death is your pimped out station wagon, which does look a heck of a lot like the Actor 1. Just saying. On the opposite side of the coin, we have the Relaxer. The Relaxer would be none too pleased with the likes of Crow Country, Pacific Drive and Sulaco. No, the Relaxer goes in for the pleasant vibes and having a good time, without too much stress or hassle. But what if I told you there's a game where you can build to your heart's content without any fuss? No goals, no currency, no opposition, nothing. Just the building part. I know it doesn't sound like I'm selling it much, but check out this beauty. Tiny Glade is perfect for curling up on a couch and building away at some castles, ruins, and just erecting beautiful dioramas. The only limitation? Your imagination. But the Relaxer is not above getting his hands dirty and doing a bit of work, as long as it's to the benefit of relaxing. And that's certainly the case for this next game. But Tiny Glade is all about building without any kind of constraint. Preserve requires some thinking and planning, and you can in fact build yourself into a corner, as I've found out multiple times. Building in this case means placing matching nature tiles together to form habitats for certain animals. Placing different animals and nature together gives you bonuses leading to better tiles, and it's all one big slippery slope of one more turn. And it fits perfectly in the natural behavior patterns of the Relaxer. The quirky gamer is somewhat of an oddity. He or she doesn't care what kind of game is at his or her fingertips as long as it's entertaining. Take this one for example. A game about a little guy with a big head. All you can do is slap, and I mean you can literally slap everything, and you can jump. Also, everybody seems to be waiting for you to solve their problems, as they all utter the phrase, "Thank goodness you're here," which, as it happens, is also the name of the game. If you take Untitled Goose Game but turn the weirdness up to 10, maybe you'll get in the neighborhood of "Thank goodness you're here." Let me just show you this example to illustrate what I mean.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
And it only gets weirder from there. There's not even really a definitive goal you're working towards, you just kind of solve people's problems and go from there. But it's oddly captivating. But the Quirky gamer is in for another treat. One of the best games this year is arguably also one of its most peculiar and original, right in the Quirkster's wheelhouse. In the Plucky Squire, you literally move through the 2D pages of a storybook, and most surprisingly, off into the real world, all in an effort to defeat the evil wizard Humgrump. Good name right there. The Quirky gamer can eat her heart out with this game. Walking through the storybook is amazing, and there are so many fun and surprising situations. Action scenes that turn into 2D platforming, word puzzle games to open gates, bow and arrow mini games, boxing games. At every turn, this game will surprise you. And I haven't even talked about Moonbeard, the DJing wizard with his amazing sunglasses. Just get this game already. But before moving on to the next category of gamer, I want to make sure we fully satisfy the Quirky gamer. So I have one more game for her to try. Grun is a gardening horror combination. After Dredge, a fishing horror game, I didn't think things could get any weirder. But I was wrong. So, thrill seekers and quirkers, gather around and feast thine eyes. You get dropped off by a bus deep in the Dutch countryside without any instructions. After some meandering around, you find a vague to-do list with at the bottom an ominous warning not to go outside at night, which you as a veteran gamer have no choice but to ignore. So you find some shears and get to clipping. Grass, hedges, it's all oddly satisfying. And yes, it's one of those games where you do in-game work to avoid doing work in real life. But while going around the garden you uncover secrets and ways to die. Many of them. Not all is as straightforward as it seemed in the first place. It might actually get pretty creepy and strange, and even conjure up the occasional jump scare here and there. If the quirker is looking for something off the beaten path, this is most certainly that. After all these amazing games and categories, you might be wondering what the heck else we have in store for you. But don't worry, there's plenty more where that came from. Next up, we have a gamer after my own heart. Systematic, methodical, meticulous, clever, brilliant, and handsome, great at public speaking, everybody likes you, and... Oh, hang on, that's my affirmations list, sorry. The Builder. City building, base building, castle building, nothing is too crazy for the builder type gamer. But if you're, say, prone to video game overindulgences, you might want to skip out on this one. I've already spent way too much time on this one and it's not even really my type of game. The name of the game is Automation and Improvement. In Satisfactory, you've been dumped on a planet with the goal of setting up an automated factory. And boy, has the term, oh, one more thing, ever been true. You start like this, but before you know it, that's not mine, by the way. This is one captivating game you should probably try. But if you need a more goal-oriented game, I have something good for you. This next game has you setting up settlements in the apocalyptic wilderness. What I like about this builder is that there's a few things it does different from all the other numerous builders out there. What I enjoy most in my builders is the setting up and starting of a base or settlement, but everything is still new and fresh. And that's exactly what Against the Storm is focused on most. It's a roguelike city builder, meaning your settlement can fail or finish at any moment. Each settlement won't take you longer than 45 minutes to an hour. Turnaround is nice and quick, but while doing so, you unlock more and more options for new settlements, which you'll naturally build further and further into the wilderness, making it, of course, more and more dangerous. It's pretty darn good. But building isn't for everyone. The psychology of the adventurer is quite the opposite. He doesn't want to be tied down by some fictional town only to get invested and be emotionally devastated when his town inevitably gets ravaged yet again. Though the adventurer likes his games quite different. Take this example. Both hardcore bullet hell and open world Zelda adventure. Mini shoot adventures could have just as easily been in the quirky category, but whatever it is, let me tell you, it works. The twin stick bullet hell action feels super smooth. You're zipping between bullets, flying over ramps and zooming past enemies, all the while exploring the open-ish Zelda map. There's many upgrades for your ship to be found, bought and unlocked, and it all makes the game feel fresh and new along its 8-hour run span. Also of note, this game is created by a two-man team. I highly recommend this game for the adventurous type of gamer. Or how about this for adventurous? A horror platforming puzzle game. It's quite the combination, and let me tell you, there are some crazy adventures to be had in this mysterious and creepy world. It's a great feeling when you learn to fight off that first ghost monster with fireworks, and it only gets better from there. As with other Metroidvania type games, you explore, hit dead ends, upgrade your abilities and come back for more. But there's puzzling. A lot of it. My only regret is that I slept on this beautiful puzzle platformer for way too long. Don't let that happen to you. But let me throw a curveball at the adventurer. Maybe you're bad at opinions, and for some crazy reason those last two amazing games weren't to your liking. Well, in that case, I have something completely different for you here. The makers of Spelunky 1 and 2 went off, got high together, and in the process came up with this. If you're an older gamer like me, you'll undoubtedly love this game. But even in today's retro climate, I think it works. Both older and younger games will love the conglomeration of 50 new handcrafted NES-type games in UFO 50. Everything's here. Puzzler, platformer, shooter to turn-based strategy, and roguelites. Maybe not all of them are of the same high caliber. There's this weird side-scrolling puzzler where when you die you keep changing into an egg that I couldn't get into, but by and large the games are great. How about a party planning deck building game or a high-speed space volleyball type game? There is so much good content in here, I still can't believe they came up with 50 new games for this. It's crazy. But then, if the adventurer is somehow still dissatisfied, let's talk about the epitome of adventuring, pirates and piratery, as steampunk robots that shoot ricocheting bullets in turn-based fashion. And to top it all off, you sail around in a submarine. Maybe this game would have fit better in the upcoming Tactician category, but the seafaring and pirating in the submarine that you'll be doing a lot of just really makes me channel that adventurous spirit. This is SteamWorld Heist 2, and let me tell you, I like it better than the first one, mainly because the real-time boating just really breaks up the turn-based strategy so nicely. Combine that with all the charming characters, like the good-hearted Captain Leeway who lost his gun arm and is just trying to live up to his mom's legacy, and the surprisingly deep story of a world with a mysterious water crisis that you'll have to solve, which, not surprisingly, turns into a swashbuckling adventure. Tell me that doesn't get the old adventurer's blood pumping. But where the adventure is all about those high stakes, perilous adventures on the high seas, and not to forget wild escapades on yet unexplored planets, the Tactician likes to take things a bit slower, planning his next meticulous move, carefully crafting that trap to ambush his opponent, only to have the tide turn at the last moment and see his hopes and dreams dashed to start it all back over again. That's what the Tactician lives for. If there is one indie game this year that has to be on the Tactician's wishlist, it should be Tactical Breach Wizards. A brilliant combination of Harry Potter-like wizardry and world building combined with XCOM-like levels, if not a tiny bit smaller. The humor and world building in this game are excellent. Just take the character class, a healer that has to kill you first, a weather witch detective but only if she's near a window, and a Navy SEAL who can see into the future but has a short-term memory problem. It all works really well together, and if you've been looking for your next XCOM-like fix with an incredible if not a bit of a convoluted story, this is the game for you, mighty Tactician. The Tactician also most certainly won't shy away from the next game. It's not a tactics game in the strictest sense of the word, but there's definitely a lot of planning and strategy involved. This is a God-type game I've mentioned multiple times before, but not enough people are talking about it, so here I go again. What could be more fun than controlling 3 massive giants and telling them exactly what to do? Well, really the only thing you get to tell them is where to terraform and what nature, mineral or animal tiles to place, but that's beside the point. This is the basis of Reus 2. It might not sound like much, but it's really very good. You as a seasoned gaming veteran will know that not all tiles should be placed together, because that's trouble. Other tiles, however, should be combined as they create synergies, giving you bonuses. As you can imagine, it becomes a complicated OCD-inspiring puzzle to lay out all your tiles in perfect manner on a tiny little planet you call home. Making things more complicated are the little humans who you're supposed to care for. Of course, these little guys have feelings and needs and all kinds of other things you have to take into account. And believe me when I say that this is the Tactician's dream game. Another out-of-the-box strategy game that shouldn't be skipped by the Tacticians. Again, not really a tactics game per se, but like Reus 2, it really has a lot of strategy and it took over most of my gaming life in 2024. What I love most about this game though is stacking the deck, rigging the game, loading the dice, weighing the scales, skewing the odds, bending the rules, breaking the... you get it. I'm of course talking about Balatro, everybody's favorite 2024 roguelite. Heck, it was nominated like 7 times at the Game Awards, so I won't dwell too much on this one. But if you haven't tried it yet, breaking the deck and pulling out some absolutely amazing Hail Mary poker hands has never felt better. And our last category, closely related to the Tactician. We have a gamer who doesn't mind the occasional tactics game, but looks for his enjoyment somewhere slightly different. The natural direction of this gamer is more cerebral. In the olden days, this type of gamer would often be found curled up on the couch with a crossword puzzle, or maybe at the table playing Scrabble. We are of course talking about the Thinker. First off, we have what has to be the game with the most original puzzle mechanic this year, and I should say, very perfectly named too. You're on a cell in a grid-based world, but instead of moving your protagonist, you move a whole row or column of the game world, including all the objects and people on said line. Certain objects can move, and also important, if you push an object or yourself off an edge, it'll appear on the opposite side. This is the main mechanic of a ranger. Told you, it's aptly named. You'll be arranging your way around objects, taking down enemies by arranging swords and other pokey objects into them, and a whole lot of other cleverly designed tasks. And for a puzzle game, it has a pretty interesting story too, about a town hidden away from a mysterious phenomenon called the static. All of this makes it a great recommendation for the Thinker. But Thinkers come in many shapes and sizes. Some lean towards more real-world focused puzzles. For them, this mysterious sleuthing game will be perfect. It's one of those games that makes you feel smart, only to then immediately turn around and make you feel like a total dumbass. For me, it's mostly the latter. You get an invitation from a mysterious stranger to come and explore his mansion, so that he can complete his life's work. Sounds ominous, and I would have definitely said no. But not our protagonist, so here we are. Everything from here on out is a puzzle. Getting to the gate onto the grounds of the mansion, padlock puzzle. Entering the mansion, keypad puzzle. Statue puzzle, sign puzzle, and it all gets very mysterious and strange. It's an enigma, perfect for the Thinker type gamer. And it's the mysterious world of indie gaming. There's something here for every type of gamer. Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, check out these videos. This here for the best XCOM games. This one for my favorite games of 2024. And I hope to see you in the next one.